What's happening, everybody? Mookie Alexander, Field Goals here with you. Bryce Coutts, Field Goals and the Hawk Side podcast host. Dan Viens, formerly of Field Goals, host of the Seahawks Forever podcast. So we are here at the landing in Renton, Washington. We just came back from lunch, actually, but we came back from Seattle Seahawks practice, day 12, fittingly, of training camp. And, well, I guess we got to talk about it right away. Is Price all right? Instead of the Price is right, is Price all right, Bryce?
Yeah, I know. That's one thing I noticed today was Jadarian Price wasn't out at out of practice at all today. He wasn't even on the sideline, guys. He wasn't there watching any of the stuff they were doing, and so we haven't heard from Mike McDonald. There was a small interview with NFL Network. We haven't heard anything. Makes you wonder, was it a rest day for him, or is there something going on that happened maybe through walkthrough?
Yeah, I was able to reach out to Corbin Smith, Seahawks beat reporter, and ask him, because he was at the ACT, the walkthrough practice indoors yesterday, asked him if he saw anything out of sorts, heard anything then about Jadarian Price. No, he said everything seemed normal. It just doesn't seem all that logical that he would have woken up today injured. So I'm guessing when we hear about it, which we might have to wait until tomorrow to hear from Mike McDonald again, maybe it was a personal day, family matter, something along those lines, and hopefully we'll see him back out there again tomorrow, but no word on why he was missing.
Yep. So while we wait to see what is up with Jadarian Price, this was an opportunity for Emanuel Wilson to showcase his abilities at running back.
Yeah, Emanuel Wilson, and I was saying to Mookie and I was saying to Dan there, he's taken a massive step forward, and he's definitely a guy I think that's going to carry a lot of the load early without Zach Charbonnet there. And the one thing a lot of people were questioning is, can he be twitchy? Can he explode? I think we saw today, guys, he can put his foot in the ground. When he goes north-south, he's a guy you don't want to get in the way of.
Well, and that's the key, north-south. And he knows it. He knows who he is, gets his foot in the ground, makes decisive cuts, especially between the tackles, and gets north-south. You're going to look quicker when you're going north-south and you're not messing around side to side. For a guy his size, 6 foot, legit, 230, 235, maybe some people think. Thought he had a really, really good day today, and it's important. We saw George Halani mostly take all the third down stuff. They worked on a lot of situational things on offense today. And we saw Emanuel Wilson out there. He had the first run of practice, and we saw him out there on early downs most of all. So it seems like he would be the next man up if anything happened to Jadarian Price.
So to sum up today's training camp, just so everybody's kind of clued in on what was going on, this was not a traditional practice like we normally see where there's warm-up, some other drills, and then extended 11-on-11. There was a lot of situational 11-on-11s, red zone, backed up your own goal line. They even did some simulated crowd noises to simulate a loud road environment, and it's third and long or whatever. But one of the situational things that we observed was the third down pressure must-pass situations. And Bryce, we were talking about it throughout camp. The use of running backs was a thing that Brian Fleury emphasized, and we saw a lot of that in those situational plays.
Yeah, we really did, and this is something I think that's going to really excite Seahawks fans because it looks like the running backs are not just going to be, hey, you're the check down. It's like, no, you're option one in this concept, and we're just trying to get the ball to you right away and get you guys in space. And I think that's one thing that we didn't really see last year. It was something that the Seahawks really kind of struggled with for years, guys, is to get running backs involved in the pass game other than being checkdowns. Mike Holmgren used to do it well with Mo Morris. It's something that I think Brian Fleury is going to bring back, and again, that just goes back to the Shanahan tree.
Yeah, and they all catch the ball well. We saw that from all of them today. Even Velus Jones, again, showing how shifty he is. And I like, we've talked a lot about the motion, right, this week. I like a lot of the stuff we're seeing there. There's one play in particular. I've learned this term from Bryce this week, dash motion, right, where it looks like they're cutting in, and then they reverse course and cut out. There's a little play-action pass, dash motion. Sam just kind of dumped it out to the running back in the flat. We saw a delayed screen to a running back from their own end zone. That's something we haven't seen a lot of, at least not during the regular season with the Seahawks. And so that and more consistent, I felt like all throughout the 3 practices I've seen this week, the 2 we've been to together, more consistent usage of the tight ends too. I think the word so far for this offense from what we've seen is balance, more so than what we saw last year.
Now, with Jake Bobo still on the mend from injury, one of the names who's really stood out throughout the 2 practices we've seen, and then Dan was there for a practice on Tuesday, Ricky White III was a kind of like a steal that we thought to the 7th round last year. Stayed on the practice squad all year, but Dan, he's continuing to make plays.
Last year in camp, I said I thought he looked like an NFL receiver. He just got caught up in a numbers game. This year, I feel even more strongly about it. Route running's really smooth, catches the ball really naturally. Haven't seen anything close to a drop from him. They're mixing him in with the 2s. He's working with Sam sometimes. It seems like his usage in practice is more consistent, which would indicate that he might be in the running there for a 53-man roster spot. I think Ricky White looks like an all-around player. We know how good he is on special teams.
Yeah, so quickly on the defensive side of the ball, when we did the Wednesday practice, we noted that we weren't getting a lot out of the non-high-end edge rush players. So talking about guys like Fowler and then Chenna and Tank and Derek Hall. Well, I guess that's another thing. Derek Hall was limping second to last play of practice, but it seems like he was all right. But if there was one name who stood out among the others at the edge rushing, Jalen Gaines.
Jalen Gaines looks like he might be taking that step to be the next guy to come in and be a rotational piece. I think we've all kind of noticed Aiden Hubbard does not have any explosiveness to him, at least from what we've seen in practice. Marvin Jones has moments, but again, he's not consistent in what he does. Jalen Gaines is someone that has consistently popped, made different plays. Today, he had a great pursuit of Rashid Shaheed on a reverse, and basically would have blown the play up if they were in full pad, beat A.J. Barner inside, and made a great play. He's a guy, I think, you put him and Jared Ivey, I think he's even potentially jumped Connor O'Toole in that rotation as being a guy that's going to come off the bench.
Yeah, we use the word flash a lot in the preseason, and sometimes at these practices, I like to, just kind of let players announce themselves, announce their presence a little bit, and that's what Gaines would be like. We'd watch a play, there'd be pressure. Well, who was that? Who was applying that? Oh, it's Jalen Gaines right in the middle of it. So, and then the play you talked about really showed the instincts to not go for the play fake, keep his edge, stay disciplined. Would have been a big tackle for loss, getting Shaheed in the backfield if we'd been playing full speed. Yeah, really impressive for me.
Yep, we had a lot of 1s versus 3s, 2s versus 2s, 1 versus 1s. Very interesting practice, not padded again, unfortunately, but we'll see them in pads presumably Saturday at Lumen Field Fan Fest. But we're going to wrap this up because we got so much more to talk about at our Seahawks Syndicate Town Hall Q&A live at Fast Fashion Brewing in Soto. So we're expecting many of you to be there. We'll be talking with not just you as the in-studio audience, but everybody who's watching on YouTube. It's going to be all about the Seahawks, not just training camp, but just other things about Seahawks football in general. So 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Do not miss that.